Hello, how are you? Just want to talk about permission to succeed. So many times I haven't done something because I felt like, oh, who am I to do that? Do I have permission to do that? How can I go ahead and do that? Somebody else has already done that. Why would anybody listen to me? And the questions go on. And I find that this isn't just an issue with me, it's an issue with a lot of people because we'll have an idea and we'll want to do something about it, but we don't choose to do anything about it because the questions in the back of our mind is, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Is it okay? What's so and so going to think about that? What do I think about that? What yada yada yada. Okay, so what I recommend that you do is that you do know that you are good enough and that your opinion counts and that you are important and that you have value. Now, I'm assuming, and I know better than to assume, but this is something that no, you don't have permission to go out and riot and tear down buildings and do destruction and things that will harm other people. Okay. That's just not cool in any country, in any language, in any situation. All right. Well, perhaps if you're being held prisoner and you're escaping and you're hurting the person that's hurting you, okay, yes. Okay. So I guess there is an exception for everything and you have permission to survive. And that's what our brains are always trying to do, is get us to survive. And the word of God says that you are wonderfully and perfectly made. And you are made in his image. And so if it's pure and if it's lovely and if it's good and if it's honest, even if it's an honest mistake, you can move forward with confidence in knowing that if it is a mistake, you're willing to be corrected. You're willing to say, so sorry about that. Let me correct whatever it is that I destroyed or hurt in the process. But things like, do you have permission to tell somebody that you love them? Do you have permission to show your appreciation for people? Do you have permission to succeed? How about that one? Do you have permission to be successful in the job that you're created to do? Do you have permission to be a good steward of what you're given? Do you have permission to answer the question and be judged by others and still maintain your humble self? Yeah. And I understand that social issues will sometimes stop us from wanting to succeed, and that there are times where it's best to not toot your own horn or to speak up, and sometimes silence really is the greatest wisdom. But when you are alone with God and when you're quiet and you're just being you, honest you, please know that you're loved. You have permission to be loved. You have permission to love. You have permission to reach out of the pain and the agony that you're in and find somebody that can help you and help you to grieve or help you to celebrate. Life is so much better when we're not isolated. And if the world and the situation has got you in a place where you're feeling isolated and the government and other places are telling you that you must be isolated, isolate yourself with God. Isolate yourself with things of beauty. Isolate yourself and give yourself permission to succeed in your peace in the midst of the storm. Jesus says that he is the peace in the midst of the storm, that he will give you peace that passes understanding. He will keep your heart and mind in and on all things, okay, through him. So keep your peace. Succeed. Succeed with the good things in life. Succeed with who you know you really are. Succeed in loving one another as you love yourself. But first, you got to love yourself, and you do have permission to love yourself. You have permission to take care of yourself. You have permission to take a bath and take a time out just for you. You have time to sharpen your sword. You have time to do the things that bring a reward from heaven rather than from earth. You have permission to do what's in your heart to do because God has put it there. You have a desire to go out and teach macrame. You have a desire to go out and teach how to fish. And it sounds so silly. Who needs to know how to tie knots in a piece of yarn, or who needs to know how to throw a string in the water and catch something to eat? Well, you know what? A lot of people do. They really, really do. They do need to know how to tie knots and how to keep their hands busy and create works of art. They do need to know how to go out and fish and supply food for themselves, or even most people I know that fish do it not so much for the food, but to get quiet. Just like people that smoke, it's not about smoking, it's about taking a deep breath. What do the smokers do? They say, I got to get out of here, I need to smoke, and then they're right, and they clear their head and they really take a break. I know I smoked seriously for many years. I was up to like 4 packs a day, when I was working in music publishing and stuff, and we'd go out, I'd smoke all day, and we'd go out to the clubs at night and see our artists, and it was bad, okay, but it was really the ability to take a deep breath and to relax in the midst of stress. So you have permission to take care of yourself. That's all I have to say. So take good care of yourself, and that's it. Be blessed.